a production of the South Carolina Educational Television Network. The following program is made possible in part by grants from SCENG, Duke Power Company, and Carolina Power and Light.
Welcome to this segment of Capitol View. I'm Tom Fowler. Our guest is Senator Kay Patterson, Democrat from District 19 in Richland County. He's a retired educator, a graduate of Allen University with a master's from South Carolina State College, a veteran of the Marine Corps. He served in the House from 1975 to 85 and has served in the Senate since 1985. He serves on the Judiciary, Education, Labor, Commerce and Industry, Medical Affairs, and Rules Committees. Welcome back to Capitol View.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Give us, if you would, briefly, what you feel the General Assembly has accomplished so far this year and not accomplished.
Well, one of the main things that I'm rather proud of is the fair housing bill we passed, and I think the governor's in the process of signing it if he has not already signed it. I think that's a step forward for South Carolina because the governor said in his inaugural address that racism will not be tolerated in South Carolina, and I want to commend him for making such a bold statement. Other than that, we have worked on some things. Now we're working on the budget bill, which is always the biggest item that we must encounter. And we've been working on the election of judges. We just did several of them the other day, and we elected Representative T. Ferguson out of Spartanburg as a circuit court judge for that judicial district, which will give us 2 black circuit court judges out of around 33 judges. And personally, I want to see us elect more black circuit court judges.
That process of fair representation, that debate has begun already, looking ahead to next year and the reapportionment that will happen across the nation and throughout South Carolina. And that's sure to be, other than the budget, the top issue next year. Give us an overview of that process and what you see as the priorities in it.
Well, the number one priority of the South Carolina Legislative Black Caucus, of which I am the chairman, our goal is to carve out a district wherein we can elect a black representative to go to Congress. As you know, we have 6 representatives and 2 senators from South Carolina. All 6 of the representatives are white and no black. We haven't had a black representative in South Carolina since Reconstruction days. And it's time for us to have one. We make up 1/3 of the population of South Carolina, and 1/3 of 6 will give you 2. It's impossible to cut 2 districts, but you can very easily cut 1. And I can't understand how is it that some of our present congressional delegation members are saying that they like it the way it is now and they want it to stay that way. Now, I can understand a part of it because I know that if you have 6 and 1 going to be black, that means 1 white must give up. And that's the way the cookie crumbles, and I can understand that. But for people to argue against having a black representative in this day and age is just beyond my imagination.
What will that process be? I mean, the discussion has begun now, the public debate about this, the issue being discussed. Where does it go from here?
Well, the General Assembly of South Carolina will make that decision. It's our responsibility to reapportion this state. For the Congressional delegation and also for the South Carolina General Assembly. And we in the South Carolina General Assembly will actually sit down and draw up all House districts. I'm talking about South Carolina House. We'll redraw all South Carolina Senate districts, all 46 of them. We will redraw all 6 congressional districts. The South Carolina General Assembly makes that decision. Of course, it must be approved by the U.S. Justice Department. And we've already started, when I say we, the South Carolina Black Caucus already started the process of sitting down with the state NAACP. Dr. Bill Gibson is our president, and he also is the chairman, national chairman of NAACP. And we want to work together and come up with a plan that all of us, when I say us, I mean black people, can buy into and see that black people are represented in South Carolina. And then some people will criticize me for bringing it up, saying that all I'm interested in are black issues and everything black, white, and they say he's a racist and all that. But what I can understand is, on the congressional level, they have all the seats from South Carolina, all 6 House members, both senators. We have nothing. And then we step forward and ask for something. They point the finger at me and say, I'm the racist. Well, hear me with 0, nothing. They got them all, but I'm the racist and they are good, fine, blue-blooded American citizens. Now, I ain't buying that, Tom. I want my share and I want it now.
Representation on the joint committee, do you feel that reapportionment will come down to a committee of House members and senators sitting together and doing a lot of the detail work on a compromise agreement? How do you think all that will come, and who should make up that committee?
That by law, that's your Judiciary Committee in the House and your Judiciary Committee in the Senate. Now, I'm on the Judiciary Committee in the Senate. That's where it starts. And then when the Judiciary Committee gets through with it, it is presented to, both bodies. And that's when the show hits the road, So the mechanism is there for that already, and we just have to work through that mechanism.
You mentioned the Black Caucus's discussions on this and what the representatives in Congress have said about their feelings on it.
Yeah.
What about other members of the House and Senate, the white colleagues who would have to make up support for this concept?
I have been receiving favorable comments about it. One of the most favorable came from a U.S. Congressman, Arthur Ravenel, a friend of mine. I served in the Senate with Arthur, and matter of fact, we sat right next to each other. And Congressman Ravenel said it's time that blacks should be represented from South Carolina in Congress. And Arthur is a Republican, as you know. And that's why it seems strange to me that a Republican could step forward and make a statement like this. And then my Democratic colleagues on the delegation talk about we like it the way it is and we don't want to change. Of course, my Congressman Floyd Spence who's a Republican, did not join Ravenel from Charleston. Floyd seems to be siding with the Democrats about we like it the way it is. Well, my thing is I don't care about what they like the way it is. I wasn't elected to satisfy them to try and get what they like, covering themselves. It's one of them gonna give up something, and we're gonna have us a black congressman. And I don't care which one it is. One of them gonna go.
So you see that as an essential part of any discussions on reapportioning anything?
About who gonna give up something?
Whether there is a black, electable black district in the congressional delegation. Is that linked to House reapportionment and Senate reapportionment?
No, it's strictly a separate issue.
Separate.
It's separate. We gotta do the House, we gotta do the Senate, and then we gotta do congressional district, and they are separate issues.
Under the there have been different possible maps drawn out for that. What is the likeliest combination?
The likeliest is taking Richland County and Allendale, Bamberg, Orangeburg, Calhoun, probably Clarendon, Williamsburg, in that area, Sumter, probably, you know, the kind of Midlands area, and drawing up a district with which must be at least in the 60th percentile for you to elect a black person. You start out 50 and 51, that you just whistling Dixie. You ain't doing nothing but trying to fool somebody. In order for a black person to get elected, you got to have in the 60th percentile black voter registration.
So under that, that would pull from what, 3 or 4 congressional districts to make the one district?
Yeah.
Pull from about that many.
Yeah, and of course I don't I don't see how we could put Lexington County in it, because just about everybody living in Lexington County happen to be white people, and you know, so that'll defeat the purpose of getting a black district. So look like that's why I couldn't understand Floyd making the statement that he did. He's going to be safe, more than likely. The ones that probably will be bumped would either be Talon or Spratt out of Rock Hill, or Talon out of Florence. Those two will probably bump together. But Floyd will be safe from the way I'm looking at it.
When you think about in the House and the Senate districts in this state, will reapportionment likely result in increased black representation in both bodies next year? What will happen with that?
No, I'm laughing because we already have black senatorial districts represented by white senators. My good friend John Land in Clarendon County comes out of a black district. My good friend Yancey McGill out of King Street comes out of a black district. We have black senatorial districts represented by white senators. We have many black House seats represented by white representatives. And personally, I have no problem with that. That's another irony in our history, an irony in printed media coverage. They can always label black folks as being racist if you bring up things. But we black folks have voted for white folks all our lives at ease. Today, we black folks vote for white folks night and day, at ease, no problem. But now you let me get up and ask some white folks, you know, in a district, or any district that's majority white. You don't know any district in South Carolina with a majority white who elected to elect a black person and send them to the House or the Senate. By and large, white folks do not vote for us. But I'll vote for Isidore Lurie all day long, and many other of my white friends. No problem.
We're about out of time. Let's talk just a little bit about District 19, your district in Richland County.
District 19 is a district in the 58th percentile, near 60th percentile black. It was represented by former Senator I. DeQuincy Newman. Due to poor health, he resigned from the Senate, and I was elected to replace, you know, in that particular district. It comes down it starts out in Greenview, where I live, which is out at I-20 and on Fire Road, and it comes down as far as Beltline and taking in C.A. Johnson, that area, and it goes up to Blythewood and all the top of the county. That's my
District 19.
District 19.
Senator Kay Patterson, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Enjoyed being here.
The preceding program was made possible in part by grants from SCEG, Duke Power Company, and Carolina Power and Light.